Hi, everyone. We'll give it just a couple seconds for people to come in. Welcome, welcome. People are arriving now. Okay, well, I'll give an intro and we can, yep. Oh, now I see more and more people joining. That's fantastic. Great. Hey, happy, hopefully it's spring where you are. It's definitely spring up here. My name is Aaron Smith. I'm the CEO of EVA, and I'm joined as always by Nancy Bakeman, our Executive Vice President. We're really pleased to have a new sponsor at EVA and an incredible new product that I think you're going to find really interesting. It's Comfy Light, and today I'm joined by the founder and inventor of Comfy Light, Josue Ramirez. Josue is out of the Northwest United States area, and then Ken Grubbs, and really excited to have them tell us about Comfy Light and this really integrated HVAC lighting solution that I think really helps with air tightness on the houses at not a lot of extra cost. We are in webinar format today, so if you enter your questions in the Q&A, I will pose those to our presenters throughout today's presentation. So with that, I'd like to welcome Josue and Ken, and we'll turn it over to you for today.
Yeah, let me jump in. I think I want to move forward on the next slide, but this is some contact information, and we'll circle back to that at the end, of course. You know, there's a lot to talk about with this product. It's a lot of fun for us to talk about. I think what I want to do, though, is give a quick general description so you know exactly what we're talking about, and then we can back up and tell some of the stories and the context that goes with it. So understand right out of the gate that what this product is a can light, a recessed lighting fixture that doubles as a supply air register. Now just let that sink in. Think about that for just a second. We're going to run 6-inch flex duct to the back of this recessed lighting fixture. Of course, it's sealed. Of course, it's all these other great things. But we're going to push up to 100 CFM out of this light fixture in a 360-degree pattern and a vertical pattern, right alongside providing high-end LED lighting. And the nuts and bolts is fewer ceiling penetrations, because now we don't need those registers anymore. So I wanted to just get to the meat of the product. That's it. I want to make sure you understand what we're talking about. This is a completely revolutionary product. And I always think it's fun. You know, I've worked with founders and owners before, and I think it's really important and interesting to kind of hear some of that backstory. So Josue, with that, take a minute and just kind of walk us through how you got us to where we are today.
Yeah, so my name is Josue Ramirez, founder of Pacific 6, creator of Comfy Light, and my background is HVAC. I started an HVAC company with my family in 2012. In that time, we were fortunate enough to do a lot of really, high-end homes, and a lot of customers just were complaining about the aesthetics of registers, whether it was on the floor, which was an inconvenient, not a convenient location because of furniture and stuff like that. And then when it was in the ceiling, it was just that clutter of having to have too many things in the ceiling, and the aesthetics was not too pleasing to a lot of the customers. So there was solutions out there with other, better looking registers, but it was still an obvious register. And so we decided to go ahead and create something to kind of eliminate that need of having to stare at that unnecessary HVAC grill, but at the same time maintain that comfort inside the home. So Comfy Light came about, and so we decided to engineer the product here in my backyard of the state of Washington, and it's being developed in Washington as well. And we just are excited to introduce this product and roll it out throughout the nation and let everybody get a benefit of aesthetics and performance all in one.
I love how you've actually softened that story over the years. The first time I heard it, it was, my God, I had this woman, this lady called me. She just bought a $3 million house. She called and she says she's furious. She doesn't want to look at the ugly registers anymore. What can you do? And you're scratching your head going, what do you mean? There's nothing, there's no solution here. You have to have registers, right? So I love how you've softened that story over the years. But at the end of the day, that's what he did. He went home, he put pencil to paper, and he figured out a way to push air through a lighting fixture, thereby completely eliminating the need for the traditional ceiling air register. My background has always been in registers and grills, and I have never seen a product in my 40 years in this business that pushes air on both axes. This pushes air horizontally out that tiny little piece of trim that you see here around the base of the product in a 360-degree air pattern, as well as pushing the air directly down from the product as well. But let's stay with energy savings for a minute. So this is where the magic happens. I think everyone on this webinar knows that the biggest culprit, the biggest energy loss in an HVAC system is the leakage from all the cutting of the penetrations in the ceiling. You've got to cut in all the registers, obviously you had to cut in all the lights. And if you don't seal those properly and expensively, then that's where all the leakage happens. So if we could just very simply reduce the number of ceiling penetrations, just by that act alone, we're going to see a tremendous amount of savings. Now, Josue, let me tee this up and I'll let you talk about it. So we've been working with some builders up in the Washington area, and one of the builders was willing to build side-by-side houses. If I remember correctly, they were roughly 1,600 square feet, and install the traditional register and grill lighting setup in one home. And in the other home, completely change that over to 100% comfy light installations. So Josue, I'll let you finish the story from there about the blower door tests.
Yeah, so as he mentioned, we are working with a bunch of builders here in the state of Washington, one of them being in the Tri-Cities, Pasco, Richland area. And on the standard home, we went ahead and we just did everything traditionally. And we, did the duct work, same HVAC equipment on both homes. The standard home came in slightly right over 4 ACH, which was not acceptable. So he went ahead and he paid that additional cost to then seal it up a little bit. Even with that additional expense on his end, he only came in at a 3.8, which is significant enough to accomplish the occupancy permit. And on the house next door, once again, we used exactly the same HVAC equipment, ducting and all that stuff. Right off the bat, as soon as he did the door blower test, it came in at a 1.8 and didn't have to have the extra expense on having to seal it. So he saved money from the beginning. And the phenomenal part was that the homeowners today are reporting back their electricity bill, and we're noticing a significant savings in the energy bill, and the units themselves aren't running as frequent compared to the house next door to it as well.
Yeah, and this is the biggest takeaway today. We've got lots of other things that we're going to touch on because obviously there's more to the story. But to me, the greatest takeaway here is that without any extra expense, without buying extra sensors, without buying modulating dampers, without having to pay for high performance, high efficiency compressors, high efficiency motors, all we've done is eliminate, I believe it was 13 ceiling registers in each of these 2 homes. By eliminating those ceiling penetrations, we went from a 3.8 to a 1.8 ACH. And I think everyone on the call probably knows exactly what that means. That's the air changes per hour for that home. So we've sealed up that home by basically double digits by just installing the comfy light instead of the traditional register and grill. That's by far the greatest takeaway here today. Now, there are some other great things to talk about with this product, and that's what makes it so fun. It's not a one-trick pony. Imagine just the workflow for the builder. You don't have to do both. You're not going to have the air conditioning guy cut the holes, install the registers, install the cans. You're just going to have him work as he always does with the electrical guy, and a few of those recessed lights will be the comfy light. It comes with the LED. It's got the variable coloring adjustment on the back. It's a very high-end can light. It blends right in with the other can lights very well. And so the workflow on the project becomes simpler. Number 2, the air conditioning system is going to last longer in general because it's running less. It doesn't have to work as hard with those ACH numbers that we showed you. The design is amazing, and we're going to show you a picture here in a minute. When you eliminate those registers, remember the original problem was the homeowner that bought the $3 million house and was not very happy about having all these ugly registers in the ceiling. When you eliminate all those registers in the ceiling, you as a builder are delivering a much better looking product to your homeowners. And then lastly, the air mixing alone is phenomenal. To be able to mix air on both axes, both vertical and horizontal, is such a dramatic difference from a traditional GRD, a traditional diffuser in the ceiling is not going to do it on both axes like that. It's just remarkable.
Yeah, and it has a better effect in the comfort that we're noticing with the homeowners. Instead of relying on that register being over that sliding door, over that window, and hoping that it really is distributing properly to not have those hot and cold spots. Our product is more central to the home, and that 360 and down throw really does accommodate the homeowners a lot more effectively. And they're just noticing that they're not having to put a sweater in a certain portion of the home and versus the old traditional way.
Yeah, there's fewer hot and cold spots. If you mix the air better, there's going to be fewer hot and cold spots, and that's what we've accomplished here. And then if you can see this image very well on your screen at all, I hope you can realize that when you look at that ceiling, it almost looks odd. It almost looks like there's something missing, and there is. And what's missing is a couple of traditional registers that would be in that ceiling. So again, as a builder, you're ending up delivering a far superior product to your homeowners just from an appearance point of view, and then you get to add the energy savings on top of that. Yeah, I love that picture. I used to stare at that in the beginning. It was just such a great shot. There's another one very similar, just another shot of a living area that once again, there's no registers to muck up that ceiling. It's just a very clean look. As a builder, it's just a fantastic look.
Yeah, the feedback that we were getting from the realtor that was showing the home was just, things that I was not expecting to hear. They were showing the home, and there was a gentleman who actually was in the HVAC industry and came in, and his concern was that the home was at temperature, but there was no registers to be seen. And when the realtor went ahead and showed him the product, he was just amazed, and he was just like, I'm from the HVAC industry. Why didn't I come up with this idea before? And it's just to hear that kind of feedback is just, phenomenal.
Well, let's touch on that for a second, because there is a reason that there's partially a reason that no one thought of it before, because years ago, that would have been a regular light bulb, and that light bulb would have produced heat. And of course, we wouldn't want to running air conditioning heat around a hot light bulb. So it never would have worked until we came along with LED lighting, because it doesn't produce any heat. So I kick myself for not thinking of it on my own. But by the same token, I get a little bit of comfort that LED's only been around. Well, I don't even know. What is it? 10 years now it's been around in the ceiling? I have no idea. The last shot is just a bit of part of a smoke test that we ran. I just love, and we're supposed to lead with energy savings, because that's really the meat on the bone with this product. But to get that kind of air distribution as an old register guy myself, still just blows my mind. To get vertical and horizontal airflow out of a simple ceiling product is such a unique feature. Such a unique feature. We just love that thing. At the end of the day, there's not much more. That's what I love talking about this. It's so simple. We've been working closely with the California Energy Commission, and one of the things those guys said to us way back in the beginning was he kind of set us aside, and he said, Ken, you guys know what's so incredibly unique about your product? We talk to people every day who are trying to show us how to save energy. And every time we have those conversations, it always involves an investment in high efficiency motors, high efficiency compressors, modulating dampers, sensors, all sorts of things in order to save energy. We don't have to go through any of those steps. There's really no additional expense at all to this product. Once you take into consideration that you don't have to install all those registers and grills, it's almost a net zero kind of an impact to the bottom line. And yet you deliver better energy, better appearance, and longer HVAC life. It's a real fun product to talk about, because I have been doing this for more than 40 years and I've never seen anything quite like it. Aaron, I don't really have much more specific to talk about. It's such a fun, easy product to talk about. Anybody have any questions at this point?
Yeah, I think one question is, how have you seen the HVAC installer coordination with I assume you need some coordination between the HVAC installer and the electrician as far as your spacing goes
Yeah.
on your light layout.
Yep.
How have you seen people address that as they've
So,
adopted this product?
it was one of the first questions I thought, is this an electrical product? Is it an HVAC product? How are we going to coordinate that in how's the general going to coordinate all those kinds of things? What we're seeing so far, and of course it's still in its infancy, we're going to learn as we go here, but it's not unlike the other part of the world that they're already coordinating. They already are coordinating the bath fan. They're already coordinating who hooks up the condenser outside. So there's just one more layer to what they're already doing. They'll find their way just fine. If the electrician ends up installing it, then the HVAC guy doesn't have to quote on the registers and the cans and the labor. That makes his quote look better. If the HVAC guy puts it in, then it's the other way around. Josue, any other details on that you want to add?
Yeah, so like I said, I have an HVAC company, and one thing that I like to think about as far as this product goes, it's a communicating product. You communicate with your builder, you communicate with your electrician, and you gather the information that everybody has together to give the end result to not only the builder but to the buyer of the home. So with that being said, you go either about getting the builder to coordinate the electrician to come out with you to the job site. They already have pre-planned layout for the lighting itself. So then you, as the HVAC guy, would then determine how much CFM per room and where the location best fits for that room. You get those measurements off of the electrician, and the HVAC company themselves would then either just hang the light, because it's a much easier install. There's less material that's needed. It already comes with this telescoping bracket. So the install time is cut down dramatically for the HVAC company compared to the traditional route, or vice versa. You just are aware of the location of where you're going to put your ducting. You run your flex to the area. You always have to come back as an HVAC company to connect the bathroom fans. So at that time, you can then just take your time to then connect all the other ductings as well. So really it's just kind of determining what is best for everybody, and just kind of making the decision as a general group.
And communication is the key to that. Yeah.
Yeah, but Josue, I've got to imagine that it helps on the other side with clash, right? Because occasionally you have people fighting over real estate in that ceiling. And, the duct guys want to be here, the lighting guys want to be there. So it kind of actually simplifies it a bit, doesn't it?
Correct. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've gotten so much response to this so quickly. We're learning things that we didn't even really think of it initially. One of the side benefits, though, once you start really thinking this through, is the bathroom. The bathroom, they're trying to cram a fan, a light, a register. They're trying to cram all kinds of things into a very small bathroom. And right out of the gate now, we've eliminated one of those things. So there's a huge benefit just for the bathroom, and sometimes there's dining rooms or little breakfast nooks, or even the island itself, where they're trying to cram a lot of stuff in a very small space. Beautiful hanging lights and things. Well, we've eliminated one more thing by getting rid of that register. So we're learning as we go as well. This is just such a fun product to work with.
Yeah, and the other great thing about the product is that even though it's a 2-in-1, you're not making the job for the electrician any more complicated, because the product still has a separate junction box outside of the connection of the housing. And so even once you put your ducting and the insulation around it, you're not interfering with the electrician to have to do his job. So there's no, irritation on either end as well.
Nice.
And that's an important point. It is fully insulated. So markets like Florida, where insulation on every square inch of ductwork is so important, we've already taken care of that.
Nice. One question that came in is, can this be used as a return air grill, or have you thought about other applications other than a supply air register?
So yeah,
so I'll let Josue answer that from the technical point of view, but we have a great answer for that
question, right?
Yeah, so there's other applications, one being a jumper duct. So that way we've eliminated the need to have a register over the door, which is aesthetically not pleasing. The other thing is there's that noise transfer that you have between the rooms. By doing a jumper duct with this product, you're eliminating that noise transfer. And so you have more privacy between rooms. Also, aesthetically, you're not looking at a grill over the door. As far as a return goes, you can, but as we all know, returns get very filthy and dusty. So it's not something that, I would say, go ahead and do for two reasons. One, you're gonna have to keep cleaning it. The other thing is once you start messing with the return, you're really kind of, risking a lot of performance if you're not relying on that primary return. In my opinion, if you keep your primary return and you run these branched off to other bedrooms, then yes. But if I wouldn't depend on this product to be your primary return.
Correct.
Oh,
Great answer.
I like what you're saying. I'd love to see a picture of that install, Josue, because you're talking about, a lot of folks now are putting that duct above the door in a bedroom. You've got this noise transmission, but I'd love to see an example install of that jumper duct.
Yeah,
That's a great idea.
We'll
do that. We'll absolutely get an example of that. Because that grill over the door is actually expensive. It's got a sound attenuating material inside that doesn't really work. You've got a grill on one side, a grill on the other side. They're usually like 14. Those things are not inexpensive to install above the door, and they look hideous. So we can completely eliminate that expense.
And the other application is also, your fresh air. If you have a mechanical room with a gas water heater that needs to have fresh air, and you typically need a lighting in that mechanical room, you could utilize this product to bring not only lighting but also fresh air. It could be used for HRVs. So there's many other applications as well that the product can be applied to.
No, I love this. Josue, have you put it in on an HRV ERV system as the fresh air duct in a bedroom area as well?
Sure, I have.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Right, isn't it? I mean, the applications are incredible. Once you wrap your head around what we've got, that it's possible to combine light and air in one discrete device. Once you wrap your head around that, the possibilities are incredible. They really are.
So
we're getting so much interest in this thing, we can't hardly keep up with the calls and stuff. And a launch like this, and we will be at the architecture show, of course, in June in San Francisco, and then we're very excited about the EVA show in October. Very excited about being at that show.
Another question. So in the picture that we have on the screen right now, we have the 4 can lights. Would we put 4 of the comfy lights in? And in that situation, Josue, as the HVAC contractor, you might only be using 2 of them, depends on the CFM, right?
Correct.
So is there 2 that are standard cans, 2 that are air cans? Is that how you look at it?
Yep. So if you look at that picture, the 2 on the right are our product comfy light, and the 2 on the left is just a standard LED recessed light.
Okay, so you have a matching LED light that you can put in those locations that are non-HVAC.
Yes, so we do have a non-air moving fixture. If you want to match, like, for example, the 360 featured design. But the reality is that our design of our product is a low profile LED light, which can match basically all of the lighting in the market today. So you don't necessarily need to buy our non-air fixture. You could just buy your traditional high-end LED light, and our light will match aesthetically the same. The benefit behind putting it behind a LED light was that no one is really ever looking at a bright light. So you're not going to look at those features or really notice those features, because it's the last thing that one person wants to do is look at a light.
Are there any things that we need to know about the light itself? I think, Ken, you mentioned that it's a color corrected LED. What do we need to know about the light itself? Is it adjustable?
Yeah, that's right. You go ahead with that one too.
Yeah, so the light, what we try to do was try to make one product that was very superior and kind of provides everything all in one bundle. So you have, like you mentioned, a 5-in-1. It's dimmable, moisture resistant, and fully insulated housing made with a high grade metal. And also we're using aluminum bezel, and we're also going to be rolling out a FR V0 plastic version. And so, you know, we just try to create a very superior product all in one package.
That LED is a 5-year LED, right, Josue?
Yes. So yeah. So as far as warranty goes, the light, obviously, we're just going to do your standard 5-year warranty on the light. Everything else in that package, we're offering a lifetime warranty, just because we want to make sure that people know that we stand behind our product and we're proud to be making a superior product here in the United States.
Yep.
Great. One question.
And that's a good point. This is US made. This is all US made.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. One of the questions that we had was, what do existing homeowners say about how they feel with the new airflow pattern? Do you have any feedback from a comfort standpoint?
Yeah, so we've been getting feedback from the homeowners. She had mentioned, or they have mentioned before, specifically one that comes to my mind is this lady in the Pasco area who is owner of the first house to have our product in the United States. She came to the builder and was just like, I'm just really excited about the product, because in my old home, I would be on in my living room on the couch, and I would be cold. So I would have to get like a blanket or a jacket and stuff like that. In the previous picture that Ken had shown in the living room, that's actually the home that we're looking at now is the home that the lady lives in currently. She was mentioning that the distribution of the air has been phenomenal for her, because the temperature that is set in the thermostat, she feels it throughout the whole house. And so she's no longer having to sit down when she's done working throughout the day. She can sit down and relax on her couch. Compared to her old home, she's not needing that blanket or that extra jacket because of the circulation of the way we distribute air throughout the house. It's more central compared to your old traditional sidewall. So it's just really more more effective when it comes to performance.
Well, I would think with that better air mixing too, you've got less air blowing directly on somebody sitting under a location as well, right?
That's correct. Less than half the air from that device is coming straight down, and it diffuses very quickly after about 5 feet.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, the $1 million question that we just got in, Josue and Ken, is where is it available? Where is it sold? How can we get this product?
Yeah. So, you know, I wish I had a better answer, because we're still this new. We have developed out, we don't have a distribution established very well yet, but just contact us and we'll hook you up. I promise you, we'll hook you up with one of the distributors that we do have. We are just now ready to run an inventory run over the next 6 weeks or so. I've got a team of HVAC reps. I'm building the electrical rep team as we speak. So we are just in our infancy. Stay tuned. Contact us directly as soon as they're available. Anyone on this call would be one of the first people in the country to have a production model once we do that first run here in the next month and a half or so.
Fantastic. And Josue, do you see the good application for remodeling as well with this?
Yeah, so with my HVAC company, I've been fortunate enough to not only do it in new construction, but also in older homes. I have a specific client who's really into buying older homes that don't have HVAC. And so in that time period, we're utilizing that time to take out those, in the older homes, they have like the heated lamps slash light. And so we're utilizing the power that's already there. The electrician is just reducing it from a 240 to a 110. And we're utilizing that same hole. And so instead of the homeowner having to go buy another fixture or another recessed light, and then us having to cut an additional hole, we're maintaining that exact same seal of an envelope, because we're just utilizing the same spots of removing the old and putting in the new.
Nice. So I'd like to ask each of you to give me the take, this is like the 15-second takeaway. And Ken, maybe we'll start with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So the 15-second takeaway is that this product is beyond unique in that for the first time ever, and without any competitors anywhere, we have found the ability to combine two functions of building a home, that is lighting and air conditioning, instead of into two separate devices combined into one device that saves time, saves energy, saves appearance. No one's ever come up with anything like that before.
Fantastic. Josue, Comfy Light is.
Comfy Light is one of a kind. It's fully patented, and I'm just excited to be the one to develop and create the product, especially here in my hometown of Washington. And it's like Ken said, it's just so simple, and as an HVAC point of view, it's just a lot more simpler when I have guys that are new to the industry to be able to go and hang a fixture that doesn't require great, experience. It's just, even when it comes to the trim time, I can rely on my guys to go and snap in the fixture in place versus putting the screw gun through the drywall and then having to pay for that little itty bitty mistake, So all around, it's just, a great simple product that has a lot of.
Didn't even think of that one.
Fantastic. And then Ken, people want to learn more, obviously reach out to both of you, but tell us again where you're going to be at. Obviously you'll be with us at the EVA show in Salt Lake City, October 10th through 12th.
Sure. The first one that comes to mind is the architecture show in San Francisco. That's June 7, 8, and 9. We're going to continue on with a lot of LinkedIn things on our LinkedIn page. We'll be at your show, of course, there. There'll be more webinars coming. We're getting so much attention to this product that we trying to struggle to just keep up with the demand of getting the word out accurately about what we're doing. But please contact us. We do have HVAC reps in every market in the country. So once we engage with you, we'll be able to engage the local people as well, show you samples live and in person, that sort of thing. So we're doing all the right things, but we got a lot of balls in the air at the moment.
Fantastic. Josue and Ken, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us. This has been an absolute blast, and we look forward to doing more and seeing you in October.
Yeah.